Hi YouTubers, this is a video to tell you about the balls of light phenomena. It sounds, because of the other video I talked about the Oliver's Castle footage of balls of light being a hoax, that some people think that I'm kind of saying that all balls of light are actually a hoax. Well, I do believe in balls of light being seen. I'm just not a believer that balls of light are making crop circles. The big question is really, what are these balls of light? I think that these could be UFOs, these could be strange paranormal things, but they're definitely not responsible for making the crop circles. So on one occasion, thinking back to about, I think it was 2000, and we saw a ball of light in one field and we got chased out of the field. I think I covered this in the Circle Makers video, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. I was speaking to a circle maker from Belgium recently who says that he has seen balls of light when he's been making circles, and this definitely comes up. So we're not actually skeptical about the balls of light being there, because we've seen these things when making circles. We're just absolutely certain that these things are not creating the crop circles. A lot of people get excited when they take photos of these things. They sometimes sort of think they've taken a photo of a ball of light, but what they've often taken a photo of is just dust in front of the camera, and people get quite confused by this. They call them orbs, and there's a hell of a lot of video footage and photographic stuff floating around of people saying, hey look, I photographed a UFO. But I mean, the thing is, what they've actually photographed is a piece of dust in front of the lens, and when the flash goes off, whatever's hovering sort of between them and the camera will be illuminated. But say you've got somebody in the distance, you know, they'll still be there, but then they'll have a ball of light sitting in front of them, and this ball of light, you know, has to be between the camera and the person by definition. So what you're dealing with is, if it's very close to the lens and the flash goes off, it's actually going to illuminate this object here. And what happens when things defocus, I mean, you can try this with your finger. If you put your finger close to your eye, you'll see a halo around your finger. Well, basically, the halo is see-through. Okay, so what you're dealing with when you do that is a small speck of light. When it defocuses, you'll see through it. So this is why the balls of light, or the orbs, are there in photographs. Doesn't mean to say that these things are extraterrestrial. You know, when people see them, you know, they could be sort of an Earth phenomena. It could be electrical sort of discharge. We simply don't know. I'm not putting anything on these things being alien. I mean, I'm just as open to the possibility that we could be dealing with a spirit form when we see a real ball of light. I think there's a lot of false logic employed by researchers to say that balls of light create crop circles. I think that because you see a ball of light in the vicinity of a crop circle doesn't then follow on that the crop circle was made by that ball of light. The two things can be completely separate. I mean, somebody could say, well, we saw a UFO, you know, that night, and then there was a crop circle. And then they'll say, you know, you make a false logic assumption to say that the UFO made that crop circle. So I think people have to be very careful with this type of thinking to draw conclusions where there shouldn't be. Now, there are good pieces of footage out there of balls of light which have been connected with crop circles, but again, you know, there's no real evidence to say that this footage shows that there's a connection between the making of a crop circle and that ball of light. Steve Alexander took a piece of footage of a ball of light that wanders through a field and goes up across a tractor and wanders into the distance. Colin Andrews took one that was being followed by a military helicopter, and there's also a great one of a couple of balls of light that sort of follow along by a crop circle and then accelerate at high speed, which was taken near Barbary Castle. And I think these are great pieces of footage. They show that balls of light are seen in and around crop circles, but you know, we must be careful to not sort of make wild assumptions that those balls of light are in any way connected with the creation of the crop circles. simply that, you know, things like this do get attracted to crop circles, and maybe there's a case to be said that, you know, maybe man-made crop circles do attract paranormal phenomena, and I wish people would look in this direction rather than making these wild assumptions that the crop circles are made by them. I think people say that I'm critical and skeptical, but I'm not. I'm just looking for good evidence. And when people talk about crop circles and what they think makes the crop circles, they often attack me for saying that I'm sort of, putting down the crop circles and saying that they can't be made by extraterrestrials. Well, I mean, there are a few circles that appear every year that we don't know who makes them, but they're usually the simple circles, and the simple circles are now what the researchers are not interested in. Researchers in crop circles only seem to be interested in the complicated designs, and these are the ones that are most likely to be done by people. So I think that what's happened is the baby's been chucked out with the bathwater, and that the original phenomena, which was simple circles, is now not being looked at. I mean, if people think that there are balls of light that are really creating crop circles, is there any evidence to this? I understand that there's a gentleman from the Netherlands who says that he has a ball of light make a crop circle outside his house. I'd be questioning whether or not this gentleman actually is making this up, because it's the only time this has ever happened, and no actual footage or a direct witness experience apart from the gentleman in question saying that a ball of light made the crop circle. Now, I mean, I would be slightly concerned that he may be pulling a fast one on the researchers, and I would actually sort of start looking at whether or not this man has got a friend who's been making the crop circle, and there's some sort of evidence. I think there was a burn mark on his windowsill. So you put these things together, and again, researchers will often put these things together and say, well, look, we've got a man who says he's seen this, and we're listening to him and believing him, and then he says he's got evidence which is just a burn mark on his windowsill, and we've got a crop circle. So we got the crop circle, we got the burn mark, and we've got his witness testimony, so we now know that balls of light make crop circles. Well, again, maybe he made the crop circle, or his friend made the crop circle. Maybe the flashes of light that was seen were set off by a flash gun, and maybe the burn marks on the window were created beforehand and wouldn't have been noticed until the attention had been drawn to them. So, I mean, you've got to take into consideration that people do actually hoax and fake things, much in the same way as people say, well, why do you make the crop circles? I mean, well, we make the crop circles because we like them artistically, and we know the reactions that people get excite them, and that other paranormal things are drawn in. So, that's why we do them. Other people might be, trying to make something out of creating a story about themselves in connection with UFOs and the paranormal. I just think that people have to be careful, with what they believe. I'm, criticized for my involvement in the crop circles, but I think that without the human involvement in the crop circles, there wouldn't have been so many balls of light being seen, and there wouldn't have been so many people coming to the area to look for strange things. Simple circles just really don't cut the mustard, and if all the circle makers stopped making the interesting crop circles, then there wouldn't be anything out there for people to come and look at. So it's a catch-22. People hate me for making the circles, but without us circle makers, what would there be?